Hello everyone, this is Kuhu from the K Junction and this is a huge book haul video. These are some 36 books that I got from a Facebook group called Kitty Wings, and I'm going to link that group in the description box below, so go check out that group. They're awesome collection and they have some great pricing as well. Let me show all of the books to you, and I will also flip the inside pages so that you know what is inside the books, because it is really difficult when you purchase the books online to gauge what is inside the books. So I hope this video helps in selecting books for your children. So most of the books here are non-fiction books, mostly encyclopedia or knowledge books or activity books. I do have a lot of story books, picture books, illustrated books at home, and I'm just building up my collection for some other kind of books. So these fit into that category. So here I have stacked up all the books. As you can see, there are a whole bunch of them. I do not want to really comment on the age group of these books because you are the best judge about your child. You know what your child is interested in, so just pick up those books. So I usually stock books that I like and then use them as and when I see that my son is interested in them, or if I want to introduce some concept, I pick up those books, pick up the entire book cover to cover, or just pick up a book and select one activity or couple of activities from that book, and that we do. So this is a book called Plants, and it's a science book. As you can see, there's a lot of things over there, some activities to do. So each page has some activity to do. Recycle a potato, that we are going to do soon, because this is a very great way to introduce the concept of root vegetables and how do you grow them. And you can do this kind of activity with a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old, or elder kids also. So it really depends how you want to go in your learning journey and what you want to teach to your child. So lots of activities in these pages. This is called Trees, again a science book. So just the table of contents. It's an information book actually. So you get to know what are trees, leaves, all the information. So this is kind of a reference book. I might not read this along with my son. So this might not be a read aloud book, but a kind of book that I will read myself and then just open the book and using the pictures, I will explain to my son what all is this. And again, it depends which page I'll pick up. It depends on our daily conversations, his interest level. Things that grow. So the table of contents, it has experiments, light experiments, water experiments, growing experiments. So again, this is a kind of book that, if you have a small terrace at your home, you can easily use this book and do some kind of hands-on activity and just let your child wonder about the nature. Very hands-on activity book. Rivers and oceans. Table of contents. Again, an information kind of book. So again, I'll read it myself. So as you can see, there are some activities also to do. So do it yourself. So if you explain things along with an activity in a hands-on way, the child tends to remember the stuff for longer. And it is fun. It's not just a boring rote learning kind of thing. So oceans and seas. Beautiful book. Actually, every page has an activity. So I myself haven't gone through the books in detail. I just received this parcel today itself, and before so this is called In the Pond. So before I set up all these books in my homeschool library, categorizing into various categories. I really wanted to do a book haul video so that I can show you all the books at once before I segregate them and put in my homeschool library bookshelf. So you see what all creatures are found in the ponds, information about ponds. Again, a beautiful book. I love the pictures over here. They are really captivating, and my son loves pictures and he loves to know more about nature, animals. Okay, so this one is cotton, and I'm going to use this book very soon because we had seen a cotton farm in our holidays a month back. So he has seen this farm in Martin, and we actually have this at home. I got this at home, so we'll read this book and see how growing cotton, processing cotton, how eventually a cloth is made. So just seeing the end-to-end process, how the cloth is made, and appreciating the things around us. Okay, so this is called Materials, and it talks about states of matter, materials, and their properties in a simple way that kids can understand. And again, this book has activity to understand things, natural materials, experiment and activities for the facts they are giving, which is great actually, because you have something to look up to right here, and you do not have to think what activity to do to make kids understand this concept. The Strange and Amazing World of Plants. So information about plants, trees, seasons, water, leaves, light. Again, an information kind of book. Fun with Science, Water, and this is a beautiful book. It has experiments of so many things. Actually, I just want to go back 10 years and 10 or 20 years and just do everything in this hands-on way. I wish I was doing all this when I was a kid. So again, it has experiments on every page, explaining all the concepts. Again, a wonderful book. Science, Water. Okay, this is a book called Glass. So how the glass is made, the entire process, facts about glass. And again, a great thing about these books is beautiful pictures that accompany the text. That makes it really interesting for young kids. So if you guys do not know, my son is almost 3. Okay, this book is called Under the Street. This is again a topic that my son really is very curious about. So what is inside the street? So where does the water come from in the taps, and how does the electricity travel, things like that. So this talks about oh yes, and where does the potty go? So this book talks about drain pipes, sewage pipes, so he will better understand and appreciate the kind of infrastructure we need to build to be able to live in a city or live anywhere for that matter. So yeah, he had that roads were digging roads, and he was really curious what's going on there. So I think this book will explain things to him. Castles. This is again a book that my son would love, because recently we had been to Rajasthan for our vacation and we had seen a lot of forts over there, and he was so busy roaming around the forts, exploring the forts. So this book talks about castles and their structures, and this is not really specific to Indian forts, but in general the forts, how the life was there, and kinds of people and the knights. He's too fond of Bahubali, and the Bahubali used this kind of costume, so he will get to know what this was exactly for, and when the enemy attacked, how did it go. So all these things, and at the end it talks about all over the world how the castles and forts are. Changing materials. It is again a book of hands-on activities. Changing materials, how you can squash or mold something, the properties of materials, twisting and bending. Again, activities, and I love these kinds of books because I can just open the book and pick up an activity and do that. Incredible flying machines, because my son loves vehicles, and this is a book that talks about things that fly. And again, a fact and information kind of book. So that's that. Baby animals. When he was a toddler, he was so fond of animals, and in our vacation to Rajasthan, we had been to Ranthambore National Park, and he had seen lots of deers and lots of other animals. So yes, love for animals is still there, and this is a cute book with cute pictures about the animals, baby animals. Early man. So again we had, my son is a question bank and all the time he's asking questions, and he just asked casually one day, why do we have a house? And then I said, we didn't used to have houses long back. So then we talked casually about men used to live in caves. So that is, the book talks about that, the first men, the caves, the cave paintings, then the first farmers. So yep. This is called I Wonder Why Greeks Built Temples and Other Questions About Ancient Greece. So this series, I Wonder Why, is a wonderful series of information books, and I have a couple of more of them in my homeschool library already. And this book talks about the Greece, ancient Greece. We won't be using this book right away, but I just bought it for later use because it's a very good book for my library. I Wonder Why Pine Trees Have Needles and Other Questions About Forest. So again, an information book. We will not read this cover to cover, but I will just pick up one question and read it myself and then tell it to my son, or if possible, I will read up these kind of information books myself and be ready for the questions that my son poses. I wonder why spiders spin webs and other questions about creepy crawlies. Okay, so flip through of this. He had seen a beehive and he had questions about that, and he had seen centipedes, so he had questions about that, and he had millions of questions about spiders because we did a small spider unit study while Halloween was there. So I may be able to use some things from here next year, or maybe anytime. I wonder why stars twinkle and other questions about space. He's curious about space. He wants to become an astronaut and go to Neptune or Uranus for that matter. And he has really told me that I want to go to that particular planet. Okay, fine. He's all set to go to NASA. So an information book over here. Then I have again the same series, I Wonder Why the Sun Rises and Other Questions About Time and Seasons. And my question bank son is actually very curious. Why is this winter season right now? Why is this cold? No, why the seasons change? Where does the sun go? Why do the moon change? And so forth. So I'm sure I'll find couple of answers over here. And I actually tell him verbally also. It's not that I just rely on the books, but the thing is, he is actually very very interested in reading something, and then when he reads something, it registers in his mind very quickly, and he considers that as a truth, that something is written in the book, so that must be really true, and it makes a great impact. So that's why I wonder why my tummy rumbles and other questions about my body. So what are germs? Okay, it's a nice book. I wonder why stalactites hang down and other questions about caves. So we haven't been to a cave with him, but I personally love stalactites and stalagmites when I was learning geography in school. So that's why this title actually caught my attention. So yes. I wonder why the sea is salty and other questions about oceans. He has been to sea a couple of times. We had been to Goa twice, and we often travel to Mumbai, and he loves the sea. So this is a book about sea. And one day he said, "Baba, please take me to a ship. Please get me a ticket for a ship." So he wants to do every possible thing in the world. I wonder why soap makes bubbles and other questions about science. So a great information book again. Step into the world of ancient Persia. I personally love geography and this kind of history and historical geography, and that's why I picked up this book. We may not use it right now, but this is for later purposes. So the contents are here. Oceania and Antarctica. My son is fascinated by penguins, and we recently saw penguins in the real penguins. Actually, it was a life goal for me. We saw penguins in Mumbai Zoo. They came to Mumbai Zoo in 2017 March, and we had been planning to go there. So we actually eventually saw the penguins, and he was really fascinated. So this is again an information book, not a book that I will read cover to cover with my son, or I read aloud, but I will read it myself and then just discuss it. Or maybe we will pick this up book later on when he's old enough to go through these kind of books. Life on the coastlines, animal, people and plants. So he loves Mumbai. Because my parents used to live in Mumbai, and my brother is still in Mumbai. So coastlines, I thought this will make a great read for me as well as my son. So how things are in the coastline and things like that. Fun with fabric. I love crafts since I was a kid. So this book has a lot of projects with fabric. As you can see, weaving, tie and dye, ragdoll, potato print, lots of things with really great instructions. So again, great activity book. My best book of big cats. Okay, so again a book on animals and specifically on big cats. Information book again, and a beautiful picture book. Make your own Roman arena. It is an activity book. It has cutouts. It has these colors these pages to color, and these are cutouts, and you can form your own arena. Activity book basically. Tell me about sun, stars and planets. And as I said, my son's curiosity about space and going into other planets. Okay, what is Neptune like? I'll read this to my son, and let's see if he's still interested to visit Neptune. and we also actually discussed that Neptune is very cold, so he will take all his warm clothes over there before settling into the space shuttle. US born young puzzle books, Puzzle Island. This is again a series, and I have a couple of more books in this series. So it is basically a book where you have picture on the page and you have something to find. So can you spot a pink elephant? So it's find something kind of book. Great thing to for your travels. This can keep the child occupied for quite long. Who were the Vikings? Again, history kind of book, and I love these topics. In fact, I do not know myself, but I would love to read them. So this might not be read right now, but maybe later. You spawned the Great History Search. Okay, again, search kind of book. So these are the pages, and you see that, can you see the church, can you spot a family loading their wagon. So these kind of books are great for discussing things. It's not just about finding something on the page. Such pictures and such books actually are great conversation starters for kids, because they are so curious to know about each and everything. And actually, I might not have answers to all his questions. Okay, Indian wedding, wow, great. And a Chinese party. This actually talks about the life of so many eras. I just love this. How things work. Okay, again a science book. It's about the contents. So right now he's not interested in these kind of questions, but I just got it because I love the content. So again, these all books were from a Facebook group called Kiddie Wings, and the link is in the description box below. So you might want to join their group and check out this a lot more collection they have. And for those who do not know, I am based in India, and I have a son who is almost 3 years old right now, and I homeschool him. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up, and if you are not a subscriber yet, I would love to see you subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit that bell button so that you get the notifications for my forthcoming videos. And you can check out the screen right now to see the other projects, reviews, setups, and tutorial videos that I have on my YouTube channel. If you want to see on a daily basis what we are doing, you might want to hop on to my Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter account. I'm linking the social connects in the description box below. So see you there. Until then, bye-bye and happy parenting.